What if everything you believed about staying strong was actually the thing that was slowly destroying you? Stay right here, because what you're about to hear might be the most important 2 minutes of your week. Meet Julian, 34 years old, project manager. The guy everyone at work calls the most reliable person in the building. 2 promotions in 3 years, clients lined up to work with him, colleagues who wouldn't dare make a decision without checking with him first. From the outside, total success story. But every single night, Julian walked into his apartment, dropped his bag by the front door, and sat down in the dark. No dinner, no TV, just silence, and the crushing weight of tomorrow already pressing down on his chest. His hands trembled, not from cold, from the tension he'd been storing in his body all day long, migraines from Monday to Friday. Jaw clenched so tight during meetings, it actually hurt. 4, maybe 5 hours of broken sleep, if he was lucky. His sister called every Sunday. "Julian, you sound exhausted. When did you last take a day off?" And every time he had the same answer: "I can't. Too many people are counting on me." He had convinced himself that stress was the price of being responsible. That happiness was something other people got, people with easier lives. But one afternoon, Julian's body finally said enough. And what happened next changed his entire life. That's coming up right after this. Julian had been running on stress for years. He thought it made him stronger. Then, in the middle of a boardroom, everything stopped. It was a Thursday afternoon, high-stakes client presentation. Julian was mid-sentence when a sharp pain tore through his left arm. His vision went blurry. The room tilted. He gripped the edge of the conference table and forced himself to finish the thought, because that's who he was. He always finished. But the moment he stepped into the hallway, he slid down the wall. A coworker found him pale, sweating, barely conscious. An ambulance was called. At the hospital, tests were run. Hours passed. Julian lay there staring at the ceiling tiles, terrified, not of dying, but of what would happen to his projects if he couldn't get back to work. The doctor finally walked in. "Your heart is fine." "No damage?" Julian exhaled. Then the doctor sat down, which is never a good sign. "But you're 34 years old with the stress markers of a man pushing 55. Your blood pressure is dangerously high. Your cortisol is through the roof. If you keep living like this, next time won't be a warning." That night, alone in his apartment, Julian did something he hadn't done in years. He cried, not because of the hospital, but because he realized he genuinely could not remember the last time he felt happy. Not relieved, not productive. Actually, deeply happy. He had been surviving, not living. He whispered to himself in the dark, "I don't want to keep going like this, but I don't know any other way." And in the moment of breaking down, a single phone call the very next morning would point him toward something he never expected. That's coming up next. Julian had hit rock bottom, alone in his apartment, broken and exhausted, with no idea how to change. But sometimes, rock bottom is exactly where the right conversation finds you. The next morning, his sister called. She had already heard about the hospital. Her voice was firm but gentle, the kind of tone that doesn't leave room for arguing. She told him about a retired school teacher in a small town 2 hours away, a man who spent his weekends running a free workshop on stress and inner peace. People in the community said he had quietly changed their lives. Julian started to push back. He had deadlines. He had a team depending on him. He didn't have time to sit in a circle and talk about his feelings, but his chest still ached. His hands were still unsteady, and for once in his life, he didn't fight back. "Fine," he said. "I'll go." And Saturday morning, he made the drive. The workshop was held in a simple community hall. No stage, no expensive setup. Just a circle of folding chairs and about 15 strangers. The teacher was in his late 60s, silver hair, unhurried movements, the kind of calm that makes you feel both at ease and quietly envious. He looked around the room and asked one question. How many of you believe happiness will come once the pressure finally goes away? Every single hand went up, including Julian's. The teacher smiled slowly. That's the lie that's been destroying you. He reached over and picked up a half-full glass of water sitting on the table beside him. How heavy is this? Someone said, maybe 7 ounces. Right, he said. Hold it for a minute, completely fine. Hold it for an hour. Your arm starts to ache. Now hold it for an entire day without ever putting it down. You'll need that ambulance again. He set the glass down gently. The glass didn't get heavier. You just never put it down. You carry your pressure to the dinner table. You carry it to bed. You drag it into your weekends, your relationships, your sleep, and then you wonder why your body is breaking down. Julian sat very still. Something was shifting inside him, not an explosion, not a sudden awakening, more like a door slowly creaking open that had been locked shut for years. Then the teacher held up 3 fingers and said, "There are 3 practices. They're simple, but if you do them honestly, they will change the way you experience your entire life." Those 3 practices. Coming up right after this, the teacher said 3 simple practices could change the way Julian experienced his entire life. No expensive programs, no life overhaul. Just 3 things. Done every single day. Here's exactly what they were. The teacher leaned forward and spoke clearly. Not like a motivational speaker selling something, like a man who had watched too many good people burn out and genuinely wanted it to stop. Practice 1, the 5-minute pause. Every single day, not once a week, not when you feel like it. Every day you stop. You sit down, you close your eyes, you breathe slowly for 5 minutes. No phone, no background noise, no running through your mental to-do list, just breathing. The teacher put it simply. You brush your teeth every morning to prevent decay. This prevents mental decay. Your nervous system needs maintenance just like everything else. Practice 2. Name the weight. Every evening before bed, you say out loud, not in your head, out loud, exactly what you are carrying. Not a journal entry, not a text to a friend. Your own voice in your own space. I'm scared this project is going to fall apart. I'm worried my boss has lost confidence in me. I feel like I'm letting the people I love down. When you speak it, you move the weight from your body into words, and words can be examined. Words can be challenged. Feelings that stay trapped inside you silently become something far more dangerous over time. Practice 3. One joy that costs nothing. Every single day, do one thing that has absolutely zero connection to being productive. Walk outside for 10 minutes and just notice the world around you. Now call someone you love and talk about nothing that matters. Make your morning coffee and actually sit down and taste it instead of gulping it over a sink. The teacher looked around the room. You have spent years training yourself to believe that every minute of your day must be useful. That if you're not producing something, you're wasting time. He paused. That belief is quietly destroying your quality of life. Julian looked down at his notebook. 3 words stared back at him. Pause, name, joy. It seemed almost too simple, but something in his gut told him that simple was exactly what he had been missing. Monday morning, Julian walked back into the same office. The same deadlines, the same flood of emails. Nothing on the outside had changed at all. But Julian had decided to try something different, and what happened over the next several weeks surprised even him. That's coming up in the final part. Julian had 3 practices and 0 guarantees. The job was the same, the pressure was the same, but he showed up on Monday and tried anyway. And what happened over the next 2 months is something most people never allow themselves to feel. The first day, sitting still for 5 minutes felt almost unbearable. His mind screamed with unfinished tasks. His leg bounced. Every instinct told him to grab his phone and get back to work. but he kept his eyes closed and he breathed. The second day was slightly easier. By Friday, something small but significant happened. When the timer went off, he didn't immediately jump up. He sat for 1 extra minute, not because he was supposed to, because he wanted to. That same week, he stood in his kitchen before bed and said out loud, "I'm afraid this project is going to fail and I'll be the one blamed for it." The words hung in the air for a moment, and somehow actually hearing them spoken in his own voice, made them smaller. Not gone, but manageable. Like something he could actually look at instead of something that lived in the dark corners of his chest. By the third week, the headaches came less often. His jaw stopped clenching during meetings without him even trying. He was sleeping 6 hours instead of 4, and waking up feeling like the sleep had actually done something. Then, a real crisis hit at work. A supplier missed a critical deadline. The client was furious. His entire team spiraled into panic. Julian felt the familiar surge, the tightness in his chest, the racing thoughts, the urge to go into overdrive. But instead of pushing through it like a machine, he paused. 3 slow breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. Then he spoke, calmly, clearly. He assigned tasks. He called the client directly. He handled every piece of it, not with less effort, but with far less suffering. A colleague pulled him aside afterward, still visibly shaken. "How were you so calm just now? I was completely losing it." Julian smiled quietly. "I'm learning to put the glass down." By the second month, he had added a 10-minute walk after lunch every day. No phone, no podcast, just walking and noticing. The sky, the trees, the air moving around him. He started calling his sister on weekday evenings just to talk. Not about work, about nothing important. Childhood memories, old stories. They laughed together, real laughter. Not the polished professional kind he had been performing for years. His team noticed something different about him. He was still sharp, still demanding, still the most dependable person in the building. But he wasn't frantic anymore. He was steady. One junior team member told him quietly one afternoon, "You're the only manager I've ever had who doesn't make me feel nervous. You stay calm, even when everything goes sideways." Julian sat with that for a moment. His calmness wasn't making him weaker. It was making everyone around him stronger. 2 months after that workshop, he drove back to that small town. He found the retired teacher in his backyard, watering tomatoes in the afternoon sun. Julian walked up and said simply, "I came to say thank you. I still have pressure. My job didn't change. My deadlines didn't disappear. But I'm different. For the first time in years, I actually feel like I'm living, not just surviving." The teacher smiled and handed him the watering can. "Good. Now help me with these tomatoes. Slowly, no rush." And Julian laughed, a full, real, unguarded laugh. And he watered the tomatoes slowly, with nowhere else in the world he needed to be. Here's what most of us get wrong. We tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when this project ends. I'll relax when things slow down. I'll start enjoying my life once I get through this season." But life never slows down. There is always another deadline, another bill, another situation that needs handling. If you keep waiting for the pressure to disappear before you let yourself breathe, you will wait forever. Happiness is not the absence of pressure. Happiness is the ability to breathe right in the middle of it. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need a vacation. You don't need your entire life to look different before you're allowed to feel okay. You just need to learn to set the glass down, carry it when you must, set it down when you can. That rhythm, quiet, simple, repeated every single day, that is the whole secret. Julian didn't move to the countryside. He didn't find a new career. He didn't meditate on a mountaintop. He just learned 3 small practices and did them every day, and those 3 small practices gave him his life back. If pressure is weighing you down right now, hear this. You are not weak. You are human. and humans were never built to hold the glass forever. If this story touched something real in you, share it with someone who carries too much and never puts it down. A friend, a coworker, a parent who always says they're fine, but you know they aren't. Sometimes the right story at the right moment can change everything. And if you want more stories like this, stories that help you live better, not just work harder, subscribe. There's another one coming. Remember, the glass didn't get heavier. You just forgot to put it down. Set it down tonight, and tomorrow carry it a little differently.